Okay, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
Do not come.
We the best. Let's get it.
It's time!
Welcome back to another Tuesday night episode of Tech Q&A with Tech Coach Ralph, where we are engineered to win. How is everyone doing tonight? It's really blue in here today. I told you I got some new lights, made some upgrades. The other ones started to go bad, but they're kind of bright. But I like it. How is everyone doing tonight? Hopefully you are doing very, very well. Hopefully you had a great Monday, and now we're at Tuesday, and by tomorrow we're going to be midway through the week, and before you know it, the weekend will be here, and then we will be in 2025 already. Tonight is Tuesday, October 15th, 2024. And let me say hello to my early friends in the building. What's up to the number one tech Pookie himself? What's up, my guy, Yakar? And the one, the only Mr. Darcel Chapman in the building. And my guy, Victor Williams Jr. What's up, Victor? Happy to see you here. Hopefully you are doing well and you are killing it out there. Shout out to Victor Williams Jr.
Let's get it.
So, how is everyone doing? And thank you for becoming a member, Victor. Victor, I really, really appreciate it. All right. So, you know how we like to do here. I want to first and foremost welcome you to the show. We're going to have a great night. We have some great questions. The link to call in is also pinned to the top of the chat, as well as in the description. If you want to have a conversation with me, by all means, click the link. You don't have to be on camera. We will have a discussion. We can spend about 3 to 5 minutes talking, and maybe I can be able to help you, or you can share some insight with me, whatever the case may be. Maybe you are a big proponent of the ISTQB certification. Maybe we can have a discussion about that. Maybe we can do that. All right. So we're going to get into our agenda for today, right? Let's get into our housekeeping, like we always like to start the show off with. So housekeeping and gratitudes. So first and foremost, I would just want to say a big, big thank you to all of the subscribers on the channel, those who are new, those who have been with me for a very long time, those who are active with us in the chat, those who watch and leave me comments, or those who just watch from the clouds. I appreciate you all. You are the best.
I appreciate you. We the best.
And I have to give a big shout out and salute to all of my tech savages out there, my tech barbarians, my tech prodigy members, my technical explorers, all of those who sign up for the Patreon. You guys, I appreciate you so much. And of course, shout out to my tech mercenaries, my YouTube members that help the channel grow and keep it going. You guys are absolutely amazing. And of course, shout out to the bag chasers out there. Shout out to you guys.
Money.
And of course, I can never, ever leave out my Tech Pookies, the chairman and the CEO of the Tech Pookies, my guy Yakar. Shout out to the Tech Pookies out there.
Hey.
How is everyone doing? And do me a big favor on your way into the show. Like I said, if you have a question, you can drop it in the chat. You can call in, whatever the case may be. You can even email me if you want me to address it on the stream. By all means, do that. But do me a favor though. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know every single time that we go live. And of course, drop new content. We drop a lot of content over here, as well as check out the Patreon at techcoachralph.dev. You can sign up for one-on-one coaching with me. Spots are filling up, but you can sign up for one-on-one coaching and work on anything tech and help you in your career transition or help you level up in your current career, how to get to the next step. Techcoachralph.dev. Also, there's tons of exclusive content on there on how to use LinkedIn, how to use Glassdoor, how to use AI to your advantage to help you level up in the tech space, as well as I upload the full Scrum Nights and the sprint reviews that I do with the Tech Barbarians. You can also participate in that if you become a Tech Barbarian, all right? So much that we do there. Exclusive content, techcoachralph.dev. One-on-one coaching available for now, all right? Until I change my mind, but one-on-one coaching is available for now, all right? So with that being said, let's jump into our live show schedule. I'm just going to run through this real quick, except for one. One of them I have to spend some time on due to contractual obligations, all right? So Sunday afternoons, we have software explorations. We're working our way through DevOps. We've been working on Docker and stuff like that, and we'll probably very, very soon be getting into Kubernetes. Tuesday nights, we have our Q&A sessions tonight. So questions that I find, questions that you have in the chat, if you want to call in, like I said, feel free to do so. Thursday night, software explorations. We're still working our way through building our urban dictionary of economic data. We've been using React and using API microservices, things like that. I'm probably going to end up, I wasn't sure if I was going to deploy it, but now I'm going to deploy it. We'll see. We have our morning shows. Yesterday, I was on with Tech Niche Tips and Before the Billions on the Talk That Tech morning show. It airs on Monday mornings at 7 a.m., hosted normally by Joseph and Trey, but I was filling in for Trey yesterday. We had a great time on that show, a lot of good conversation. But I was there yesterday, but normally we go live on Mondays and Wednesdays around 7:30 to 8 o'clock. In the mornings, Coffee and Kata, where we review some news articles and mobile, and we work on our mobile development for our time cost calculator. Saturday mornings, all right, let me slow down on this one. All right? Saturday mornings, we have the Men Lie, Women Lie, Numbers Manipulate show. And that is where we review the weekly economic numbers to see what's going on. Let's try to understand it much better for ourselves. We've done like 21 episodes so far, and I have been learning so much. It's a great time. And as it says here, it says always mention Mitch and Yakar. Yes, they are the co-hosts of the show. I have mentioned them because that's my contractual obligation to Mitch. Yakar honestly couldn't care less, but Mitch says I have to mention his name, so I always have it written down here. Always mention Mitch, and for some reason it has to be Mitch first. But you know, Yakar is a good sport; he's cool with that. So it says always mention Mitch and Yakar, and there we have it. All right, so got that out of the way. I'm telling you, if I don't like, don't tell Mitch I said this, right? But if I don't mention it exactly like that, then he is coming after me. He's trying to have me catch these hands, and I ain't trying to have these problems.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Next up, our pre-recorded content. We have Monday's Candid Conversations. Had a good one yesterday. Definitely want to check that out. Really good stuff. Wednesdays, software explorations, concept and overviews. I'm working on the one for tomorrow. We're going to be talking about the story refinements, right? Very important meeting in the Agile Scrum process. Fridays, we have the Bug Bite, where we review different related bugs, cyber attacks, so many different things, but it's really good stuff. Definitely want to check that out on Fridays. And then we have shorts as well as clips from the Q&A show from this show, right? We clip it up and we put it in small bite-sized pieces so that maybe you can't sit around and hang out with us for 2 hours, but maybe you can catch a 5 to 10 minute clip. Then I make that available for you as well. All right. So that is all of our shows for the week. And with that being said, do me a favor, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. With all that information I just gave, you don't want to miss out. You do not want to miss out. Also, check out the Patreon. You can sign up for free. techcoachralph.dev. So much content over there to help you help yourself. All right. To help you help yourself. All right. So we are going to, before we get into our quick, actually first, let me check the chat. All right, let me check the chat. And then I'm going to get into a little tiny itty bitty icebreaker that I found pretty funny. And then we're going to get to our questions, right? So we got Alexis in the, oh, let me get this. I'm blocking Alexis. I cannot do that. All right. We got Alexis in the building, says, good evening, Tech Coach Ralph, your car and chat. Shout out to you, Alexis. And I'm just going to let you know right now, when Mitch gets here, he is not going to be happy about that, because although he is not appearing in the chat yet, he's always watching from the clouds, and he will be upset that you did not acknowledge him, although he does not appear to be here yet. I'm just letting you know. You see, what did I tell you? What did I tell you? It's like right on time. Do I know my guy or what? Do I know my guy, my bestest friend in the whole wide world, Mitch, or not? As I was saying it, it just popped up. It says, what am I, chopped liver? I told you. I know my best friend, right? I know my best friend like the back of my hand. Yeah, what's that? Anyways, I take it back. Anyways. You got that right. You got. I told you. Anyways, so I'm good like that. All right. So let's get into our little icebreaker real quick, and then. Because it's icebreaker. I'm gonna ask you a question to ponder on throughout the evening, and then maybe we'll come back to it at the end. Curious to know your thoughts. All right. So let's do this. Right. Let's do this. I'm gonna go to this screen right here. Right. So apparently Stephen A. Smith posted, "Send me questions, good ones, please." And this person, Greg, said, "If you're at a friend's house and clog the toilet and there's no plunger, what do you do?" That's a phenomenal question, actually. However, you know what? I'm not too worried about that. Here's my question for you, right? So what if you are at a friend's house and you do clog the toilet and there might be no plunger, but what if there's no toilet paper? What if there is no toilet paper? It's a scary situation. That is a scary situation. Let me know what you think. Right? We'll revisit this at the end of the show. But I'm not even gonna read. I'm gonna star the answers so we can go through them at the end of the show. But let me know what do you do? What do you do in that situation? Right? So, with that being said, let me see. Mitch said, "Did you see the TD Bank money laundering?" I feel like I heard something about that, but I didn't look in it. I didn't look too in depth into it, but I feel like I heard something about that. I'm not 100% sure. Not 100% sure. And Icar says, "Did you see they used AI in the phishing attack with Google and exposing a bug in over 2.5 billion devices if not caught?" That sounds familiar as well, but I've been kind of busy the past couple of days, so I didn't look into it. But that sounds like I heard something. I saw a number of 2.5 billion, but I didn't know what the details were about it. But I will look into that, because that might actually be a bug bite episode soon. If you knew how many bug bite episodes came from my guy, your car, you'd be like, what? And I will star Mitch's answer. Amy says, I didn't see that, but I saw they invested in a nuclear power company for data centers. I did hear about that. I heard about that today, actually. All right. And I think they said, I think I heard Microsoft bought one in like Pennsylvania as well. What state did they buy that nuclear power company? Was that it? I want to say Nebraska, but I could be wrong. I want to say Nebraska, but I could be wrong. But yeah, let's see. I don't know about the bug bite, but I do know some Wednesday shows, software explorations came from Mitch. I'll tell you that. The one for data engineering definitely came from Mitch. All right. So let's get into our first question of the night. Let's get into our first question of the night. Do me a favor, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The call-in link is pinned to the top of the chat, but I'm going to drop it again anyways in case anyone wants to call in and hang out with me and we can have a conversation. Yes, we can. All right. So with that being said, let's get to the first one. And you know what? I'm gonna debate if I'm gonna call the clone tonight, because I might give the clone a night off. As I get ready for my robots to come in, right? As I get ready for my robots to come in, I have to be thoughtful on how I approach them. So maybe by me giving the clone a night off, it might help me when I get my robots and manage them. All right, so we'll see. We shall see. But the robot is always on call. By the way, I'm on call too tonight, so you might see me have to dip off if I get some emergency. Not likely to happen, but you never know. The night is young. All right, so let's. Darcel says that's an awkward icebreaker. Hey, people have problems, Things happen, Darcel. Things happen. All right. So, all right. Let's get to our first question of the night.
Another one.
What the heck happened there? Hold on. What's going on over there? Okay, got it. All right, cool. ISTQB relevance for experienced automation engineers. So first of all, what does ISTQB stand for, right? Because I never remember their acronym. So it stands for, anybody? Where is it? International Software Testing Qualifications Board. Right? So is ISTQB relevant? I should mean relevance for. ISTQB relevance for experienced automation engineers, right? So here's the question. I have 8-ish years of experience as a test automator. During these years, I've worked for customers from different countries on different projects. At none of the numerous interviews was I asked if I had a certificate, but I have repeatedly heard that, for example, in companies from the United States of America, they often ask about it. And I have also heard this for companies from Germany, Canada, and Australia. Who has such a certificate? Please tell us how it is useful to you. Have you ever been asked to show it at interviews? And if so, what other related questions were you asked about it? All right, so this is right down my alley. Love this question. All right, so I am going to start the timer for this one, and I'm going to answer you like this, right? I do not have my ISTQB certification. Yep. I have to admit it. I don't have it. And guess what? Quite frankly, I don't care. I have 15 years of experience in the QA field. I've been doing automation for the past 12 to 13-ish years, something like that. And I have never been asked for the ISTQB certification. Is it useful? For the most part, negative, ghostwriter. But who asks for it? So the companies that I see normally ask for it are kind of like contracting companies for a lot of times government agencies, maybe a pharmaceutical type healthcare company might ask for it, but I used to work for one of those and they never asked for it. It is not, I repeat, it is not asked for by companies in the USA. Possibly they want it in India, from what I've seen when I'm looking at some Indian Reddit forums and stuff like that. But here in the USA, they really don't care about if you can pass a test or not, especially for QA. It's, do you know how to do the work? And I've shared the story before. There was this Discord that I was in one time, and I asked the question because they were really gung-ho on the ISTQB certification. They were all lining up in droves to get it. All spent, like, I'm telling you, just from that Discord alone, they probably made the ISTQB board multi-millionaires. Yes, they did. They loved that certification like their life depended on it. But then like, they would study so hard for it. And you know, a lot of people, they just love to take tests. They love to take tests so that they can feel like they accomplished something. But then I asked them, like, well, how would you test this scenario, right? And I'm asking for like numbers and response, and I get a whole book report. Yes, I got a book report on how they would test it and all the theory behind their testing approach, but I never actually got the answer for the question.
Bruh.
I think Sean might have been there too. Sean is my guy. And at the end of the day, I think someone got close to an answer. It was a group of people that I was asking, right? So what I've seen though, here's what I've seen with the ISTQB. A lot of times people will get the job, people who are in QA, like for QA, they'll get the job, and because they have experience, they've been working in the industry, or even if they get hired with no experience, right? Even if they get hired with no experience, they start building up experience, and now for some reason, the company, maybe they're getting some type of contract. A very close friend of mine, they're like a manager of the company. They're the QA manager, like high level in there, right? And in order to meet some contractual obligations, then they went in there and then they went and got the certification in order to represent the company so that they can land the contract. I've heard about it in those situations. After you actually have the job already and you know what you're doing, now you say, oh, well, we need the certification. Cool, I'll go and get it. And then the company actually pays for it. The company pays for the certification. Not you. And here's the thing: I've read some of their emails before that I get from them on different live streams, and they'll say, "Oh yeah, you know, if you go and you get the certification, it is going to guarantee you a job." Red flag, red flag, red flag alert. If anyone says that they're going to guarantee you a job and they do not work for the company that's hiring you, and even if they do, it's time to raise your eyebrow like The Rock does. Because a test, it's like saying, oh, because I passed a test in college, therefore, ergo, that guarantees me getting a job. No, it doesn't. Because if that was the case, we wouldn't have all of these people who have graduated college in tons and tons of debt, not being able to find a job, especially in their field. So tests and certifications do not guarantee anything, especially for the ISTQB, right? Some other fields, they're more helpful, like maybe cybersecurity, maybe cloud engineering, maybe having your AWS or your Azure certifications, your Google Cloud Platform certifications. They help, but here's the thing: now they might help you get to the interview, but now once you get into the interview, and they start asking you questions. Oh, how do you navigate to what is it called? The one that we used. Forgot the name of it. We use it for the whatever it is. But how do you navigate? Like, how do you use ECR? How do you use Elastic Container Service? How do you use Elastic Beanstalk? That's what I'm thinking. How do you use Elastic Beanstalk? How do you do the subnets? How do you do the load balancers? All of that stuff, right? And they start asking you these questions like, well, you said you have the certifications. I would expect you to know how to actually do the work, right? What? God forbid. God forbid. See what I mean? So for me, I think a lot of times when people rely on the certification, that makes like they start like, and then you ask them a question, then we start hearing a little bit of word salad, and things just start coming out. You're like, what in the world are you talking about? Like, thank you, but no, thank you.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
I always advocate. Learn how to do the job first. And then it makes it so much easier to get the certifications because you know it. And now you just have to study a little to get like the exact answer that they're looking for. But you know how, like, so now if you're not sure what the exact answer, you can close your eyes and like, okay, if I was navigating through AWS or if I was doing this, if I was testing that, well, I would do this, this, and the other. And then, okay, boom. And now you got the answer, right? A lot of times when you're trying to cram and stuff like that, that's when you fail. Know the material, know how to do the work, and then get the cert if necessary, right? That is my answer for that. Hopefully that was helpful. And let me know if you have more questions about that, right? Let's wrap that question up. That was a good question. I like that question. I like that question. All right, let me see. Let me check the chat real quick and see what we got. Let's see. There's an awkward icebreaker. It says your car is working with cartels. That's terrible. It says he just listens to Five Eyes. Beep. All right, let's go with let's assert. Get this work. Okay. I thought your car was about to say catch these hands. All right. Sean says my guy. Shout out to my guy Sean.
Appreciate you.
Because ISTQB all depends on the company. It's not universal. That's a fact. See, that's the point. It depends on the company. And a lot of companies, they'll say, all right, we'll hire you because you know how to do the work, but we would like you to get the ISTQB and we can even help you pay for it, right? We would like you to get it in 6 months if they need it, right? Because a lot of times, as Sean says, it's for contractual purposes, not necessarily to get the actual job, right? So very true. Because I think good companies should see your work, see your project's work, and see your thought process. That's 100%. Also, how do you feel about take-home exams? Do you mean when you say take-home exams, do you mean like they give you a project for? I'm gonna start this one, but when you say take-home exams, do you mean like when they give you a project to do for like over the weekend or for an interview? If that's what you mean, let me know, and then I will come back to that. I'll actually make that our next question if that's what you mean, but just to make sure. Mitch says them exams. Mitch seems upset tonight. All right, it says Ralph changes up. He likes whoever agrees with him. That is not true, Mitch. That is not true. Take it back. So mean. And I'll tell you this, Mitch. I'll tell you this. I think my guy Sean might have been here before you. It's possible. I think so. When I had nobody, I had Sean, right? When I had nobody, I had Sean.
They ain't believing us.
I'm just saying. I noticed Ralph does that when people act like they know everything. He will ask them a question that requires a solve. QA triple OG squared. Thank you, Ralph. Says, I heard it's easy to get in QA and it's one of the best jobs to job stack. What? Well, Mitch, tell that to the millions of people applying for these QA roles who they spray and pray and then they end up not really getting anything, right? So tell them that, Mitch. Tell them that. It says red flags fact. Nothing in life is guaranteed. That's a fact. Ralph will be testing people without them knowing. I do the same. Yup, you got it. And that's why I always say, you gotta be super, super careful what you put on your resume, because I'll be looking through resume like, okay, oh, like, can you tell me a little bit about this, about the time you did this? And they'll be like, oh yeah, da, 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 da. They start talking about it. I'm like, oh, so how did you do this? And then they're like, that's when you go that one question deeper from what they have on the resume, that's when things start to unravel. And like, so like, oh yeah, I use this and I did that. I'm like, oh, well, how did you do the code in Java to do this? And they're like, and then you're like, all right, but the people who actually did it, they're like, boom, they're like, oh yeah, I did this and that. I'm like, oh wow, that's really cool. That's pretty awesome. And now they've sold me. They got me, right? But when they start to stutter and mumble and like, oh, you know, what's like, or let's say, here's the other line, right? They said, oh yeah, I've done this before. And you ask them about it, and then they start to answer, like they give their canned response, right? The ones that they memorized, that, you know, and then I'm like, oh, well, then how did this happen? How did you do this? And that's when they're like, well, you know, it was a long time ago. I don't remember the exact details. Yeah, but I know I did it, but I just don't remember the details. Then it's like, what? I'm like, you know what?
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Yup. And even if it's true, like I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Let's see. It says nothing is guaranteed until you start your first job. That's true, because like, you might have already given your 2 weeks notice and stuff like that, and now it's like 2 days. It's like you start on Monday. On Friday they call you and they're like, hey, something's happened, something's changed. We're not going to be able to. We're gonna have to rescind the offer. We're gonna have to rescind the offer.
I'm in a bind, Nate.
That's exactly what it is. He says it sucks, but it sucks, but in this economy, if you want a decent job, you always have to be upskilling. Well, I don't care what economy it is, right? I think we should always be upskilling. Just saying. I'm just saying. I think I've been upskilling since I was born, you know? Remember, talk about this economy. Some people say between 2016 and 2020 was one of the best economies that we ever had. And I was still upskilling every single day. I learned so much during that time frame. And then when I left the company that I was at during that time frame, I got like a $35,000 raise. I'm just saying. I was like, what? Was it 35? I think it was. I don't know. It was a lot. That's all I'm saying. All right. Upskilling keeps your mind sharp. That's a fact. Also, you should always be upskilling in life. My day ones. Not just in terms of job. It says, not me. I don't have. And we know, Mitch. We know. But Mitch, guess what? You're still my best friend. You are still my best friend. It says, he just wants to see them squirm. It says, and you still get put on a pip. Sean has never been on a pip your car. That's not true. It says, yeah, like for the weekend or a couple of days. All right, I'll answer that next. It says, beep whoever Sean is, where he been? I'm confused. Now you telling that to the people, telling that to these people. Tell the people telling false lies about how easy it is. Hey, but here's the thing, right? It's kind of like, all right, as much as I say that they're scammers and stuff like that, right, Mitch? Here's the thing with that. One, it's like the payday loan stuff, right? I don't mind the payday loan doing their thing, because people can do their research. People know about quote unquote predatory lending and stuff like that. But they don't do their research. If they go and look and they see tons of people are complaining about it. They say, oh, I've been applying, and people asking for refunds and stuff like that. But they promised me that I'm going to go from making $20 an hour to making $100,000 a year, doing manual QA. You guys saw the video from Friday how we went through the one where somebody was making $300,000 in QA living outside the United States by getting like 6 jobs, right? So Just saying. And Mitch says that I grew up in a middle class family. Yep, that's didn't we all, Mitch? Didn't we all? Right? I'm just saying. All right. All right. So I'm going to do we're gonna do Sean's question. Let me do this for a second. All right. I'm gonna do Sean's question. Let me. Sorry, bring it back. Sorry, coach, bring back it around to take. Yeah, I'm gonna do the take home. Yeah, I'm gonna do the take home. I got you, Sean. All right. So, Sean's question. Let me start our timer for this one.
Another one.
So Sean asked, also, how do you feel about take home exams? All right. So put up the timer. So, I do not mind take home exams whatsoever. I know a lot of people, they don't like it because like, oh, the companies might be using my code for something. I'm going to tell you this, right? The company, like, at least the companies that I've worked for, they don't care about your code. I did a take home exam for this one company that didn't have any automation, right? And I did the project, and then when they reviewed it, like they were like, "Oh my god, like this is amazing." And like then we had a conversation. I had a conversation with the quote unquote like kind of like the hiring manager, right? And it was supposed to be for like 30 minutes. We spoke for like an hour and a half, and then I got offered the position. And then the current company that I'm working at now, I did a take-home exam, and I put all the bells and whistles in it, with like reports and how to run it in multiple browsers. And then I think after that, I ended up doing like how to run it on AWS Device Farm. So personally, I don't mind take-home exams because it's a way to showcase what you know, and it gives you a valid project to work on. Even like let's say you did it and you don't get the job, right? Well, you spend a weekend working on the type of work that you want to work on anyways. So you get to put in some extra reps. You get to practice. You get to work on a time-based thing. You get to work on something that you didn't choose, somebody gave to you, so that you can actually build experience on. So I don't mind it at all. I don't threaten me with a good time. With nowadays, I can just fire up a stream and I can do this project with you guys, and then like if someone tries to cheat on there, well, there's the technical interview where we're reviewing the project and we're asking questions about the project on why you did it this particular way, or what was your thinking, things like that, where you have to pretty much. Let's say you wrote a thesis and you have to defend your thesis. I mean, if somebody's going for a master's or a doctorate or whatever, or like even if they're in class, like in regular going for their undergrad or even in high school, like any level of school, right? There's always tests. But now people are going for a job to pay them a lot of money. And like I said, hiring is really, really expensive. And now a lot of people are like, well, I don't want to go through the process. I don't think we should. I never do a take home. Okay, fine. Don't do it. Don't do it, because guess what? One of my tech barbarians are going to come and take your job. That's how I see it. Like I said, don't threaten me with a good time. You do a lot more for free. You might be sitting around watching whatever. And I'm like, well, why don't you be productive? Even if you don't get it, at least you got to exercise. At least you got to put in some work so that you can get better. To me, I'm always about getting better. I'm always about growth. I don't care about nothing else. If I can get better, then I'm good. And like, even if you cheat, right? Even if you cheat, there's multiple rounds of interview. And that's why for me, all these people are like, oh, there should only be one round of interview. There should be like, or 2 rounds at the most. And if you guys remember what I said on our Sunday show, I said that nobody that matters cares because companies are going to do what they do. If you're lucky and you get into a company that gives you a one and done interview, right? Then good for you. But 90% of the times, that's not going to happen. And who has the leverage now? The companies have the leverage. The industry is saturated with a lot of bootcamp graduates. So we vet more. See, I mean, just because people, they go out there and get into relationships and just choose anybody to be with, and then now their lives become miserable, that doesn't mean companies have to do it. And unlike relationships, companies will fire you. If you don't perform, companies will fire you. Yep. So if one of the prereqs to get to the next level is to do a take-home exam, then you do it or not, and you go from there. But I mean, I've reviewed plenty of technical interviews, and I've denied plenty of technical interviews. Like I'm like, okay, this one wasn't good. This one isn't good. Oh, this one is good. I'd like to talk to this person. And then when you talk to the person, you're like, oh, they didn't really they're not really up to par. And some people they're amazing. Some people, like I'll see their technical interview and I'm like, I don't know, but I'll still talk to them anyways. And then after I actually talk to them one-on-one, they actually like, oh yeah, they're very good. And then some people like you'll see their technical interview like, oh my god, like this is really like you see their take-home project and like, oh this is like, oh, this is really, really good. But then when you actually talk to them, like, oh, I don't know. Like this, it's not like the work that they did does not match up with the person that I'm talking to, So, yeah, so I'm in favor of it. If a company doesn't want to do it, that's their prerogative. But I am not opposed to it whatsoever. And I actually encourage it. Please don't at me. All right. That's my thoughts on it. And that's the bottom line because Tech Coach Ralph said so. Alrighty then, let me get that off the screen and let me see. Let's get back to the chat real quick. That was a great question. Thank you so much, Sean. I really, really appreciate it. All right, let's see what we got. So let me see where we left off. All right, got that. Mitch says them take-home assignments. Well, Mitch, not everybody is riding around Jersey in a Lambo like you are. So some of us are still trying to get it out the mud, and we need to take those take-home exams, all right? I'm just saying, all right? Because I did one recently. In the middle of it, I said, beep this. I removed myself from the process.
How dare you?
Wow, Mitch. Says, I don't recommend doing that, though. Well, I mean, we know that, Mitch. I'm telling you, once we all get the matching Lambo, I'm definitely gonna get a matching Lambo like Mitch, so that we can drive side by side, and because we could be our best friends, So then and then we can do like the remember the slingshot? Is that what it was that they used to do in Talladega Nights? I'm just saying. All right. Charles says I can understand both sides. They are good learnings. They are. Mitch wants to know what your car thinks. I would like to know what your car thinks as well. Says it could be a waste of time if you don't get an offer. So I see the other side as well. I don't think anything is a waste of time. If it's stimulating your mind, if you're innovating, if you're trying to find new ways to do things, I don't think it's a waste of time. Because what else would you be doing anyways? John? What else would you be doing? Sean says he's neutral. And Ferris says that he cheated on his ex with his exams. Well, you know what, Ferris? Do you even have an ex? See, that's the real question. Says we don't have time for this today. Says for me, I'm just like, yeah, I'll do it. It's a good learning experience, and I mean, and you can get the job. Right? So, if high stakes equals high rewards, I think it's good. I'm not opposed to it at all. You gotta prove yourself. Right? Let me see. Icari says, I don't even get that far into conversations with companies. We know you don't do that. Or this is the real comment. I don't get that far in conversations with companies. Either you hiring me or you're not. You can pay me my price or you can't. But I mean, We all know your car is the big dog. We all know your car is the big dog. He doesn't. Him and Mitch, they don't have to. They don't have to. Don't you see how they bully? Don't you see how Mitch bullies me to make sure that I mention mention his name on the Saturday morning show? You know, that's what I'm saying. Let's see. It says Coach has a huge active chat now. Hey. It's grown. And he's right. It is because of my best friend Mitch. That's why. Let's see. Shake and bake. You got it, your car. You got it. We're shake and bake. As always. My guy Victor Williams Jr. in the building. I'll take whatever take home, even if I bomb it. With the way I'm doing in OOP and data structures class, no take homes for a while. You gotta do it. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. You gotta do it. You know, that's how you get growth. Since Ralph is sick, but Ferris loves Ralph, but hates me and your car. Hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. All right. It is what it is. All right. I don't put forward languages on the screen because I don't know what you're saying, and I'm not trying to get in trouble, Ferris. I'm not trying to get in trouble. All right. So. Let's get to our next question of the night. So, this is an interesting one, right? This is an interesting one because it sounds kind of scary at first, but it's not that bad. All right, so let's go.
Another one.
Was it a mistake to reschedule an interview? Right, so. But before you even start to jump on the answer, you have to listen to the whole question, right? Is it bad I offered an interviewer to reschedule? So, just trying to get some opinions here. There's been a handful of times I'll hop onto an interview for a new job and the interviewer is running late or hops on and mentions how crazy their day has been, etc., etc. Before you start, I know Mitch and I know your car is going to start going crazy saying, they're going to say,
How dare you?
I was scheduled for an interview and now you're telling me that you're so busy and you're late. You don't value me. So before you get there, here's why though. Here's why. It's common in my type of work I do. Crisis management, to constantly be getting pulled in different directions at the drop of a dime. So I never get offended by this. Typically, I would just say, oh, no problem at all. I hope your day turns around or something to that effect. However, I was interviewing for a role recently and the interviewer joined a few minutes late with their camera off and immediately apologized saying she's having a rough day dealing with a crisis. I kind of lost my interview mode and talked to her like we were already coworkers and she said, oh geez, no problem at all. Oh, and I said, oh geez, no problem at all. Would you prefer to reschedule this call? I understand how it can be sometimes. She seemed really taken aback by this. I couldn't see her face because her camera was off, but there was a decent pause and then she tells me, no, that's not necessary. You have my attention. The interview went well and I ended up getting the offer, but it felt weird to do in the moment and kind of just came out. Anyone have any thoughts as whether this was a weird or bad idea, or maybe this worked in my favor and painted me as a thoughtful and realistic potential colleague? That is a good question. That is a great question. So let's start the timer. Right? So I think here's the deal. Depending on the role that you're trying to apply for, right? So if it's a basic role, and now they just show up late, that's kind of annoying, right? And I remember this back in the days when you would show up for an interview like at a physical location. I'm sure Mitch remembers this too, right? I'm sure you remember this too, Mitch. You would show up to an interview, and then they would have you sitting in the lobby. You'd meet the receptionist, and you say, "Oh, I'm here to interview with Mr. So and so or with Mrs. So and so," right? And then you'll just be waiting. And then it's like half an hour later, that's when they show up to do the interview. And the interview takes like 15 minutes and then you're out. Right? So I can understand, typically, you wouldn't really go for that. But however, this person knows exactly what they are walking into. They're the ones who are interviewing for a crisis management position. So being that you know what you're walking into, you know that this type of stuff happens. And I think that because you showed some compassion to the interviewer, like, okay, this person actually understands the work that we do in the crisis management. And they said that they were willing to put they were willing to put themselves on hold so that I could be good. And maybe there was just that minute, that second that they needed to recatch themselves, like, wow, somebody actually cares about me. Like, it's not just me trying to manage and fix all these crises, but someone saw that I was going through my own crisis because it's been such a rough day. And then I have to go and talk to somebody I've never met before. And they said, you know what? I understand what you're going through, and I am more than willing to reschedule if you need that. And now they're like, wow. So I don't think it was weird or bad at all in this circumstance. See, like when I first read the title, I thought it was like you were offered an interview, and then you were just like, oh, actually, there's this party happening, or I have to go to brunch on this day. So can we just change the interview to a different day that's more convenient for me? And that's why I was like, okay, this is weird. But after I read it, I was like, okay, I see. And it was actually genius. It was a genius move for you to do that. You showed compassion to your interviewer. You showed empathy. Me, I'm not the biggest person on empathy, but I can understand, like, if the role that you're going into, and you see the person is actually distraught, then have some empathy. The same way I have empathy for Mitch, and your car sometimes. Not as much for your car, but definitely for Mitch, because Mitch gets a little sensitive sometimes, or he gets a little sensitive sometimes. I'm just saying. But I think that's what did it. I think it was a great mindset, and I think being in crisis management, you were just using your experience in order to. I think you're using your experience in order to that's why it just naturally came out for you, because I don't know if it's a crisis management, like working in a call center or something like that, or if you are I don't know if it's a call center. I don't know if it's like, I don't know what type of crisis management that you do, but I can definitely see you getting pulled in every which direction. And shout out to you for being into that type of work. I probably wouldn't be able to handle that because it's just not my personality. It's not my forte. It is not my forte, to be honest. Right? I'm just being honest. So yeah, I think for the most part, I think you handled it perfectly. I think it was perfectly executed, and you probably knew exactly what you were doing. You're asking if it was bad or weird. I think you know exactly what you're doing. Showing some compassion for a job that requires compassion to the person who's interviewing you, and then you flipped it right back. And now they said, you know what? Thank you so much. I appreciate it, and we want you to come on board. I want you to come on board. So well played. I salute you. All right. But yeah, let me see what the chat thinks on this one as we wrap up these 22. I'll just end it. So let's wrap that one up. All right. So let me get to the chat real quick. Where are we at? And let me get that off the screen. Where is it? There we go. All right. So curious to hear what you guys think about this. So let's see. Mitch says, weird. Why? Some people, I can understand why they would feel that way, because asking to reschedule an interview and then that's not typical interaction, because typically you'd get an interview and you just quiet and you wait for direction, as opposed to saying, hey, how can I help you? Because that's pretty much what the question was, right? Do you want to reschedule? Was, can I help you? And typically when you are in the position asking for a role, that's not how it is, right? It says, I would have done it, Ralph wouldn't. What? I take offense. I take offense to that, Mitch. It says, I would refuse the offer. Sounds like a stressful work environment. I mean, I hear your car, and I would probably too. I mean, I wouldn't even apply for that job. But the person who knows exactly what they were getting into, that is their line of work. So, it is what it is. So it says, oh my God. Like, I'm just going to ignore this. I'm going to ignore Ferris. Says, why would I remember in-person interviews? I'm not a grandpa like you. What?
How dare you?
So rude. So rude. Your car says, back in the day, we had to go to the physical store and get the application, use pen and paper to fill it out, and turn back into the manager. Then you go back to check on the hiring process. That's a fact, though. That is totally, totally true. That's how it was back in the days. Back in our days, it says, y'all didn't even have phones back then. We had landlines, all right? And we had caller ID, landlines and caller ID. It says, I missed the interview on purpose before, but they called me and asked if everything was okay. Would you like to reschedule? True story. I took the job. What? But Mitch is, I don't even know what to call it. But it turned into success. So go in person to check for an update is crazy. I mean, sometimes you try to call the store and you'd be on hold trying to ask the manager, and you'd be on hold for like an hour. Like, I'm just gonna go to the store, see if the manager was there, and then you would wait for the manager. Says, hey, I was just wondering, and Mrs. I'm sensitive. Get the out of here. Well, maybe not. Says you have to sit at home so you didn't miss the phone. We had phones, but you couldn't walk around with them. We had voicemail too, but your tape could get full and miss the job calls. That's true. That's true. I mean, all right, I'm going to say this, right? Your car was definitely too young for that part. That part I know. Your car was not waiting for a voicemail tape call, but he's right about that. Maybe his parents, but that was not your car's personal experience, all right? Because your car is definitely too young for that. I had the tape voicemail, but that was from my parents, right? And we had a fax machine. But by the time that I was like working, we had caller ID, and we had where the phone company also managed the voicemail. So, but I know exactly what your car is talking about. Yeah, we know you know. Victor says that search, just some search algorithms like linear and binary search in Java. What did he say, Java? Did you say Java? Shout out to my guy Victor Williams Jr. Killing it out there. Back in the days, there was no caller ID. Java can be tough. It can be, but hey, Java is where it's at. Java is where it's at. Ferris says, I had a phone where you had to spin the numbers. My grandma had one of those too, all right? My grandma had one of those too. So, sometimes it's like that on the islands, all right? Sometimes it's like that on the islands, all right? So, let's get to our next. I mean, if anyone wants to call in, feel free to click the link. I just dropped it in the chat again. As well, it's pinned to the top of the chat and in the description, right? If anyone wants to call in, right? And do me a favor, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know every time that we go live and drop new content. All right, and check out techcoachdrive.dev. Sign up for one-on-one coaching, get access to exclusive content, all of that stuff. All right. If you call Ferris, you have to be on camera. So that's the only stipulation for Ferris. If Ferris calls, he has to be on camera. So there was call waiting too. You'd hear the little beep in the phone. That's true, your car. That is true. All right, let's get over to our next question of the night.
Another one.
Should I move from quality assurance to development? So, did anyone move from QA to development? I have been working as a QA manual tester for about a year, then started the automation for another year, and the company I am working with will get rid of QA. What? because developers will do all the work. That's stupid. But anyways, my manager offers me to move to development where we use C# as the backend, and I am a little bit afraid of this move. Any advice? Well, I have plenty of. You know what? Maybe. All right. Should I give the clone the night off? Should I answer this myself? I'll let Mitch decide. Mitch, I'm going to start answering this myself, but let me know, Mitch. Should I call the clone or not? Because I know that you guys are also good friends. I see the records that you call the clone asking for help. I see it. So let me know if I should call, and we'll get there, right? But let me start answering this question. Start the timer. So my advice to you, right? My advice: should you move from QA to development? Although it is not the smartest thing for your company to do to get rid of QA, because developers and QA see things totally differently. Developers cannot do, like, there's so many things that developers miss because they don't have the QA mindset, right? So what I'll tell you is that regardless of what the company does, right? Why would you not take up the opportunity anyways? Why would you not take the opportunity? If they're offering you, if your manager's offering you the opportunity to become a developer, and if you're not familiar with C#, well, there's tons and tons of courses online that you can learn C#. I even have one that I bought like 5 years ago that I still even haven't opened yet. But one day I will. One day I'm going to get into C#. So why would you not take the opportunity? Why would you not start learning it now? Start going through it. C# is like the cousin of Java. They different syntaxes, but one is made to run on Windows and one runs anywhere, honestly. So why would you not take the opportunity? I mean, if the option is become a developer and learn and use C#, or get fired, what? Yes. Pretty much the ultimatum is, if you do not learn, if you don't become a developer and learn C#, then
you're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired.
So my advice is that take up their offer, right? And if you don't like it, if it doesn't work out for you, then they'll either end up firing you anyways, or go find another role somewhere else. Not that hard or complicated to do. You got like Sean was talking about earlier. You got to continue to upskill. And now, let's say you try it out, right? Let's say you try it out. You're not familiar with being a developer, but you try it out. And what if, God forbid, you're actually good at it? What if you're good at it? What if you actually like being a developer? What if you actually don't like trying to figure out every single edge case that there is, and you actually enjoy developing? How would you ever know if you are afraid to explore new heights? And the worst case scenario, you actually learn C#, but you actually prefer doing QA, and then you go to another company where you're doing that, and you can do QA, and you can use C#, and you can look at the code that they might be using, and you have a better understanding. So many options, so many opportunities to win. It's not that hard. I mean, especially if you had to interview for this position for the developer, right, where you're not too familiar with it, I'd still say go for it. But it's an offer from your manager. They actually, if your manager did not value you, then they wouldn't make you the offer. They're like, well, we're getting rid of QA, so bye. But they're actually wanting to work with you. They don't want to get rid of you. They want to get rid of QA, but they don't want to get rid of you. So they like you. They probably think you do good work. So you better think a manager. You better think a manager. Giving you the opportunity to learn C# and work with the developers. And because if the developers are going to be doing QA anyways, then you could be a developer that does QA. I mean, now for the long run of the company, it's going to be an absolute absolute total failure. Because a company without QA has no line of defense. Because what are the developers going to do? They're just like I said, it's a whole different mindset. They're just going to try to automate some stuff, write some automated tests. But how do they even know what to test? So that's why I would definitely be looking for another role, because that company might not be around for too long, or they might end up having to get QA back again, and then they'll say, hey, do you want to become a software development engineer and test? That's an option. I'm pretty sure that's what the future holds. So they're making a mistake on that front, but that doesn't mean you have to make a mistake yourself. Go for it. There's nothing to lose. There is nothing to lose whatsoever. I say go for it, and either you win or you learn. All right? That's my thoughts about that. All right, let's see what the people have to say about this topic. So they voted for no clone. Okay, I got it. Let me see. Let's see. We don't want to hear Ferris. That's fair. I'm making hot wings, 5 hot and 5 barbecue. Shout out to the hot wings. Are they breaded or non-breaded, your car? Are they breaded hot wings, or are they non? Or can hot wings be breaded? I guess they can. I don't know. Let me know. Can hot wings be breaded or not? I don't know. Let me know. I prefer non-breaded wings, as I'm sure they're going to get on me for that, but I prefer non-breaded wings. Says you might as well cook them in the hot tub. You sound. My God, why did I read this one? Oh my God, that is so wrong. That is so wrong. Says they didn't get rid of QA. They gave all the positions to other people and got rid of paying someone. I mean, yeah, I guess you're right. I guess you're right. They got rid of the QA department, but QA, quote unquote, still exists. It's just going to be done very, very poorly. So Yukari says that he prefers me to answer. Mitch says that that clone and me. So fair enough. Clone Ralph is not better than we know that. We know. I mean, when it comes to compassion, it might be. When it comes to compassion, it might be. And I will not take that away from. I will not take that away. It says no trolling. Can I submit a LinkedIn post and you review what this person did, went viral, and your thoughts on what they're saying? Let me take a look at it. All right, let me see. Cousin programming language is great. It is. I mean, Java and C# are pretty much the same thing. All right, let me take a look at this link. Copy. Where can I visit this link? All right, let me see. Oh yeah, I'll review it. I'll review it next. So I'm not gonna show it on the screen because I don't like putting people's LinkedIn business out there. But let me see. All right, let me see what else we got. I got it. All right, so question is this a good look for hiring managers? Should we all have those banners? I saw a glimpse. That's bold. I don't personally know about that. Let me see. All right, let me finish reading it. All right. Probably went viral because most people feel like that. But job-wise, I don't know how a company would feel. If that's the case, most people are desperate and looking for a job. Let's see. All right. Let me give this. All right, let's address this real quick. All right, let's address this. Let me. How should I do this? All right, I'll do this as a question. I will put. Let me see which one I want to put up. All right, let's do this one, right? And I will leave that up for now. Cool. So let's start our question.
Another one.
So Ferris sent me a link in the chat, and it's I'm going to read it, but he's saying, question is this a good look for hiring managers? Should we all have those banners, right? So he sent me a LinkedIn post. I'm not going to share the LinkedIn post because I want to share people's info. I don't know the person or anything like that, right? It says, but this person, they are listed as a security engineer, associates of ISC2 and some other certifications. It says, I have decided to switch to the desperate banner on LinkedIn. You guys know how they have to open for work, the hiring. So this person said that they switched to the desperate banner. And shout out to the person who gave them the idea. Not gonna read the person's name. It says, I recently graduated with a master's in cybersecurity and many certificates such as CASP+, PSA+, Pentest Plus, and I also have previous IT experience. Every time I apply for a job, there are already hundreds of applications. Why is it so hard to get a job? All right. So, set the timer on this. I don't know if I'll need the full 5 minutes, but is it a good idea to put a desperate banner on your LinkedIn? Well, I'll probably end up clipping from the show the other day, but I'm going to answer like this. And I'll say this, right? So this post got 3,724 reactions. I see a bunch of thumbs up, light bulbs, hearts, all of that good stuff, right? And already I see like 3 of the reactions that show they have the open to work banner, right? And then it also had 784 comments, 180 reposts. Right? So, with that being said, if anyone watched the show on Sunday, during one of the breaks, I read another post that not exactly like this, but somewhat. And what I said was, nobody that actually matters cares. Nobody that actually matters cares. You're going to get a bunch of people who are like Mitch said, who are like feeling they're in the same situation, the same boat, who are going to be cheering this on, all that type of stuff, right? But at the end of the day, what does that do for you? Does that help you land an interview because you say you're desperate? I know people who've had open to work banners who get job offers and interviews and stuff like that. I mean, I think open to work is fine because it lets people know that you're available. But when you start like, so Ferris, maybe you know this, right? Maybe you know this. Is the desperate tag like banner thing, is that part of LinkedIn, or are people just customizing it themselves to make that? Because if they're customizing themselves and they're going outside of what LinkedIn is offering to like, okay, so because you are desperate, does that bring you to the front of the line because you're desperate? Well, okay, well, what if you're desperate but you're not that good? I'm not saying about this person, but I'm just saying in general, right? What if you're desperate but you're not that good? What if you don't have the requirements that the company's looking for? And then when you have like, and I've shared this before, right? A lot of the people who are quote unquote desperate, not talking about this person, I do not know this person whatsoever, but a lot of people who are quote unquote desperate, they are so desperate that they have a long list of requirements for the job that they're willing to take. It has to be remote. It has to have like unlimited PTO, or it has to have, I need to be able to take my vacation. It has to have flexible scheduling. I need to set my own hours. That's the desperate of a lot of people. Not, like I said, not talking about this person in particular. I don't know this person, but that's desperate. Like, because I've said this before. If a lot of the jobs, and unless you are in a major populated area, right? A lot of the jobs that have these thousands of people who are applying for it, like let's say you have like LinkedIn Plus or Premium or whatever it's called, you're able to see exactly how many people like at least click on the apply link, not necessarily applied for it, but if you have LinkedIn, like it's like with regular LinkedIn, you see like over 100 people applied for it, right? But if you have LinkedIn Premium, you'll see how many like people actually clicked on the link. But I've seen that a lot of those that have the most applicants are remote jobs. But once you start filtering down to hybrid or to on-site, then it decreases by a lot. Unless, like I said, you're in a major, like if you're in California or something like that, then that's different. But in these local, like it's like, for example, in South Florida, right? There's not that many people who are able to do all these type of tech stuff. There's a good amount, but it's not crazy. So I think the answer is, why is it so hard to get a job? I think it depends on what you're applying for, how you're applying for it. We're looking what type of outreach do you do? How do you quote unquote network effectively? But I'll tell you this, posting things like this, right? To get for the clicks and the likes and the comments where people are like, oh yeah, let me read a comment. Let me read a comment real quick, right? Let me read a comment. Let me see if I can find a comment. Oh, so the person, they put an update, right? Says, just an update. I still don't have a job. This post has been seen by 500,000 people. Shout out to you. Get those views. Federal jobs are not a thing anymore. Well, don't ask me how I feel about federal jobs. People stop saying whatever. The time to get a security clearance is now 6 to 12 months. They don't sponsor people anymore. See, I'm going to reserve myself from what I want to say. So here's another comment. This is crazy that qualified individuals are sitting looking for jobs when they swear there are so many positions going unfilled. They refuse to train, not the responsibility of the company to train, but want you to know how to work on the systems immediately. They never want to give people a shot. Instead, they want you to come in the door hot on day one. This job market is crazy. I'm one of those people as well. I was passed up for a college grad and they told me he seemed like a better fit. It's time to start changing the dynamics in this realm and help people make things happen. Wishing you the best. Stay focused and let's do good work. Had 91 likes. And I'm like, nope. Sorry. Can't do it. I know Mitch is going to get on me for this one, but nope. What I hear is excuse, wah, 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 wah. Especially that comment. Like, you don't have a job. How do you know? Like, whatever. Anyways, thanks a lot, Ferris. See, Ferris, now you done got me upset. You got me upset now, Ferris. You got me upset. I'm upset now. All right, I'm gonna get this off the screen, all right? You know how I feel about this type of stuff. Anyways, let's wrap that question up. All right, let me continue through the chat. Let me see. It seems to went viral, but no interview. So I guess the answer is it didn't help. I go, probably went viral because most people feel like that, but job-wise, I don't know how a company would feel. Honestly, Mitch, a company couldn't care. Like, companies don't check like that. Like, they don't care. Like, companies are too busy to care, right? Like, we have to make money. We have to get software off the door. So show me what you know how to do instead of like whining online. Your car. I don't talk about other people and their shows, your car. So I'm going to avoid that question like the plague. All right. Not going there. Your car. I'm not even going to show it because I ain't trying to have beef with nobody. Come on, your car be trying to get people in trouble. Your car be trying to get people in trouble.
How dare you?
Ferris says I would see it as a red flag as the hiring manager. You would never even see it, to be honest. Plus the resume. Did you see the resume, Ferris? Did you see the resume? I didn't see the resume. Is there a resume? Where's the resume, Ferris? Where is the resume? I want to see the resume. If there's a resume, let me know, Ferris, because I want to see the resume. Non-breaded, I make both. I make both. I like both. All right. Shout out to your car with the non-breaded wings tonight. Will you get the Tesla Optimus and will you integrate your AI into the robot? You damn Skippy. You damn Skippy. The LinkedIn could be another stream topic. Nope, we took care of that right there. It says, I like that t-shirt Ralph has on. Anything like color block takes me back to the 90s. Shout out to the t-shirt. Having a desperate banner makes LinkedIn look like a cesspool, like more of a cesspool. Well, Victor Williams Jr., LinkedIn is quite frankly is a cesspool for the most part, but there are some recruiters who are using it to reach out to people, and it's much better to get reached out to than to be going around trying to. I don't want to say better, right? Because you have to do it if you have to, but you have a better chance if they reach out to you instead of you trying to reach out to everyone, right? But yeah, it says it's a custom tag, not from LinkedIn. Exactly, that's the thing. It's on his GitHub for download. Let me take a quick look. I don't want to, but let me see. Now you got me interested. Let me see. Well, it's just a desperate banner up there. Let me see. Oh, wait, let me see. I'm not going through this. Is this it? Let me see. What the? All right, hold on. This can't be the resume. That's not the. What is this? That's not. I don't see no resume. I don't know. Send me the resume first, because that doesn't look like a resume to me. Maybe. Oh, hold on. Repositories. I don't see it. If you have it first, send it to me, but I don't see it. I'm not going to spend much more time on that. Oh, it's on that? All right. Oh, God. Let me see. Ferris shows up and he throws the whole show off, I tell you. Let's see. I don't know. Whatever. Now that's stupid. That dying banner is stupid. But anyways, all right. That's enough of that. Let me see. Dying to get a job. Dying to provide. Dying. Give me a break. You know what, Ferris? I'm gonna join. Victor Williams Jr. on that one. I'm gonna join Victor on this one. Says Mitch says, it hurts me to say. Why does it hurt you to say that, Mitch? Why does it hurt you to say that? But I agree with Rob. Nobody cares about that banner. Dying banner is actually worse than the desert one. Exactly. Thank you. It's way worse. It says, I agree, but the main issue is zero accountability. That's true. Just an update. That's wild. Oh my goodness. It's one thing to feel one way, but zero accountability is a red flag. Victor Williams Jr. says, what I noticed about them types of LinkedIn posts, they never want to take a temp job doing something less to provide for their family. They want a specific job, salary, and location, and nothing else. Let me throw one of these on there.
Message.
That is true. I work a fed job. You better thank a Fed employee. You better thank a Fed job. You better thank a Fed job. He says you will know them by their fruits. Got you upset. Guess I'm doing my job as a mom. Yeah, man. I was like, man, you gotta be kidding me with these updates. All right, I'll check it later. I say bad, but it's mediocre. A 5 out of 10. Well, 5 out of 10. This job market does not cut it. All right. It says they didn't want to believe. You got it in your car.
They ain't believing us.
They ain't believing us. All right. I'll put the desperate. That's a good one. That's a good one. You should put the dying one instead. Put the dying one on Tinder instead. That's hilarious. Let me see. Bro said his resume don't look like a resume. I was looking at something else. on the GitHub. I thought it was on GitHub. So let's see. All right. Lonely IT guy. I didn't. That's so funny. Ferris is hilarious tonight. That's funny. All right. Let's get to another question. We got like 30 minutes left to go. All right. Where was I? As I was saying, if anyone wants to call in, the link is pinned to the top of the chat. I'm going to drop it again in the chat, and it's also in the description. So feel free to call in. We can have a conversation. Let me see. What do we got? All right. So, and like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Go sign up at techcoachrob.dev. You can sign up for free. And we can go from there if you need one-on-one coaching, exclusive content, all that good stuff, right? Anyways, let's go into our next question of the night.
Another one.
I'm burnt out and I don't know what to do. All right, so burnout and I don't know where to go. I'm an HVAC technician. HVAC, I believe, is like, I don't know the abbreviation, but I know they work with cooling and heating. Like there are AC type people, right? I make about $80,000 a year. Yeah, okay. But I work ungodly hours. What would be the opposite of ungodly hours? Would that be like satanic hours? I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. Anyways, I digress. Yeah, my mind is all messed up, right? I am the sole provider for a family of 4. We pretty much live check to check, but do get by. I'm missing my entire life and missing out on my kids' childhood. And I am burnt out because of this. Is anyone out there making 80K or more and actually working just 40 hours a week? What do you do? How do I get into it? I'm just throwing stuff at the wall to see what sticks, I guess. All right, cool. That's a great question. That is a great question. All right, start a timer. So here's the deal. Mr. HVAC technician. Thank you for your service because especially if you are down here in South Florida working during these summer years, it is hot outside. But to answer your question, does anyone make more than $80,000 a year working 40 hours? The answer is yes. Plenty of people work 40 hours a week and they make well above $80,000 a year, especially in the IT industry. Right? So I can tell you, I'm giving you a few stories, right? So as you know, tech like QA directors, managers, things like that, product owners, product managers, they make well into the six figures, right? And they work like 40-ish hours, 40 to 50 hours a week, maybe less sometimes, maybe more sometimes, depending on what needs to be done, right? But here is the challenging situation that you're going to find yourself in, right? Here's the challenging situation you're going to find yourself in, is that you're going to have to continue working the 80 hours a week so in order to support your family. But in addition to that, to make this transition, you're going to have to put in even more time to learn what's next. Whether it is going to school, if possible, whether it is like maybe a school like Western Governors University, like where you can do it self-paced and stuff like that, or whether you're upskilling through Coursera, Udemy, whatever, you would need to actually put in that time to actually learn this type of stuff. So now even you're going to be even more burnt out. And you kind of have yourself in a jam here. It's kind of like in a jam, right? So Mitch says data analysts, data engineers, data scientists, clouds, the same. Yep, totally agree. Probably even more. Probably even more. But it's going to, like, let's say you want to become a data scientist, data analyst, data engineer. There's a huge learning curve, especially coming, like, if you don't have any like IT experience, coming from HVAC, it's gonna be a lot of work. You're going to spend a lot of hours studying, learning, writing code, learning Python, learning the concepts of coding, learning about NumPy, learning about pandas, learning about matplotlibs, which I still despise, learning about scikit for machine learning and things like that. But is it possible? Absolutely possible. And you'll end up working a lot less hours, making a lot more money in the long run. But you're gonna end up suffering. You're going to end up suffering to actually make that transition. I'll share a comment that your car says. Your car says that, where does he say it? Where does he say it? Your car says that you should start your own company, then you will be in control of your hours and pay. Kind of. But when you are working in this, like, let's say as an HVAC technician, right? Working in a service industry, says you can make $150K a year working less than 40 hours. I don't know about that. Maybe your car has some insider insight that I might not be privy to. But thinking about when you work in a service industry, if you are the sole employee of your own company, I could easily see that you might, like, someone's AC might go out on a Sunday when you're supposed to be spending time with your family in this emergency. Are you going to pass up that opportunity to make that money? Or let somebody else answer the call, because it might be somebody you never worked with before, but they might end up becoming a long-term employee, a long-term client. But because, like, I had to go to the beach with my kids on that Sunday, right? So now you can, instead of being able to charge a emergency fee on a weekend fee and stuff like that, now someone else takes the call and now they become a long-term client for that other company. It's, at the end of the day, whether you are working for another person or working for yourself, I mean, it's probably better to be making all that money for yourself, but there's so much more management that comes involved. Like, a lot of times, I mean, your car is of a different breed, of course, but a lot of times people don't know what goes into running your own business. It's not just, oh, I'm an HVAC technician. Honest to God story. A relative of mine, a cousin of mine, such an amazing mechanic. A couple of years ago, he's like, I'm going to go out on my own. He's been a mechanic for like more than 20 years now. I actually bought a car from him, like, what year are we in? We're in 2024? About 21 years ago, I actually bought a car from him. There's a whole nother story to that car. But I bought a car from like 21 years ago. I forgot what type of car it was. But anyways, but he said, you know, I'm going to open my own mobile car repair thing, right? And the other day I needed some work on my car and I brought it to him. I'm like, oh, you're not doing it anymore? He's like, man, it was too damn hot down here in South Florida to be doing mobile repairs. Like I went back and got a job at another car dealership and I am happy. He's happy. And he had to manage all the books and the taxes and all that type of stuff. And now he went back to work and he's like, I just fix cars. I just like fixing cars. I don't blame him. And he's not complaining. See, I don't blame him because he's not complaining. There's a difference with that. He actually tried it and it didn't work out for him and he's not complaining about it. So if he was whining and complaining, I'm like, all right, stop your whining and complaining, right? But he's not. So that's why I'm like, I kind of get it. I get what your car says, but it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody, you know? So, but yeah, I think there are so many opportunities out there, but you're going to have to suffer. You're going to suffer even more than you're suffering now because you're going to have to put in extra time. You're going to spend more time away from your family, but in the long run, in about, I don't know, 4 years, maybe two to 6 years, you might be making more money, less hours, and spending more time with your family. Who knows, right? But it's going to be tough. Like there's plenty of things out there, but the learning curve is going to be huge and it's going to take you a lot of time. I know these boot camps promise you that in 3 weeks, you'll be qualified to get a job and you'll be making $250,000 a year. What? Yep. That's what they tell you. But it's not true. It's not true. You're going to have to put in the work, put in the time, and then you will be, you should be good at that point, right? You should be good at that point. Let's wrap that one up. All right, let me see. All right, let me go through the chat real quick and see what's going on. Your car says it's heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Gotcha. Thank you. Shout out to my guy, your car. So I read the part where he says he needs to start his own company. Then he'll be in control of his hours and his pay. He can make $150K a year, working less than 40 hours. Is HVAC business easy to do? I don't think any business is really easy to do, to be honest with you, Ferris. Anything that you're gonna do that you're serious about, it's gonna take your full dedication to it. You're not gonna be able to half step it. Just saying. But all right, hold on. I say, everything I just said I take back, right? Because you can get that $20,000 forgivable loan. Shout out to the forgivable loans out there. Go get your $20,000 forgivable loan. All right. Go. It only costs $200 billion to do. Right? Or is it 20 billion? Or is it 200 billion? Whatever. It's either 20 or 200, but it's a lot of money. Good Lord, that's a lot of money. All right, I'm just saying. Let me read this one first. So he's working more than 40 hours, making 80. Horrible. Yup. But in fairness, you don't know the background or anything like that. But he got to take care of his family. He's got to take care of his family, right? Let's see. Definitely should be making more. Says, thinking of getting a trade just in case this IT stuff doesn't work out. I would have 2 jobs, and if that was the case, but he doesn't even have time. That's true. That is a good point. He doesn't have time. Data analysts, data engineers, data scientists, cloud analysts, the same. That's true. Agree with that. If you do that, think about how you can create an app for that trade that you can sell later. That's a good point. Shout out. That's what your car and I be thinking about. How can we do an app to not globalize, but to monetize it? Digital app for the trade. Have you guys ever seen those apps for the car washes where you can order a car wash online and then kind of like an Uber for car washes, to be honest with you, kind of like a DoorDash for car washes. SQL, BigQuery, the list goes on. Python, Excel, Google Sheets, yup. Google Collab notebooks. Have you used that, Mitch? Google Collab notebooks? I like that. It's like Jupyter notebooks, but you don't have to do all the installation for Jupyter. Think about how much your family who fixed your ACs make. Well, I'll tell you this though. I mean, I honestly don't know how much he makes, but I know that he is super, super busy. I've been waiting for like 2 to 3 weeks, maybe even longer, for him to come check out this AC that works when it wants to work. Because the person who comes in and fixes my AC, he works for a company, but he also does AC stuff on his own too. And he is super, 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 and he does like handyman stuff too. He is super busy. Maybe he makes a lot of money. I don't know, but he is busy. All right. Says, let me see. Tell your homie to go handle that, and you pay him. Delegation is part of it. But wouldn't my homie have to know how to do HVAC, or do you mean like how to do the books and stuff like that? I'm gonna tell you this in your card. I'm like what was his name in I'm like Big Worm in Friday. I don't trust people with my money like that. You know, if you want me to handle the books, man, you saw how they got Trump on his books in New York, like how they made up all that stuff. I'm just saying. It could be skills. It could be making the paperwork easier, like writing contracts, admin things. Maybe. But I mean, it's like you have to start somewhere. And would you say like on day one that you're starting a company, right? You're going to outsource. You're going to delegate that stuff to someone else, where that means you don't really know all the things that are happening with your company from day one. I can understand if you were doing it to start off with. Like for me, like when I was doing this, I did, like, and still to this day, I do almost everything myself. It took me a long time to trust the videos that are edited for me. And even now, when I'm checking, I'm like, oh, something's wrong here, something's wrong there. And and it has to be fixed. Like, so I don't know. See, when you are working for somebody, you don't have to worry about all those things. But when it's your name on the line, you have to be like a hawk on these type of things. So I don't think you just delegate it just like that, especially to a homie. I was gonna say I'll say it, right? The one person I trust less than an enemy is a homie, because they be trying to take shortcuts because they're your homie, and they think that no wrong will come of it, right? And that they can just take shortcuts and stuff like that. I have to watch the work that my homies do for me like a hawk. I'm just saying. All right. Remember Scarface? Who do I trust? Me. All right. It is what it is. All right. Didn't Boozy say trust no one? I'm just saying. Let's see. It says too hot. Hey. That's my relative we're talking about here, right? That's my relative we're talking about here. His grandpa. I'd get a big fan. Hey man, I'm just saying, like, he ain't complaining, right? He's not complaining. I don't know your card. That comment you said you were being lectured to the other day. I'm just saying. So go on and hold that L.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
You were getting lectured to. Your car. You were getting lectured to, Mitch. Just saying, y'all was getting lectured to. Bootcamps be like, call me now for your free reading. Forgivable, yeah. You didn't hear about the forgivable loans? 20K forgivable loan, right? 20K forgivable loan. Just saying. It's a start of business, quote unquote, right? It's a start of business. And then they're gonna be like, oh, that was fraud. And now you're gonna end up like a singer / rapper. because you thought that you said, you know what, this Lambo that I'm buying, I opened up my, so it's gonna be like this, right? Get this 20K, right? Do the Birdman, right? Get this 20K, and I'm gonna open up my LLC. It costs about like 80 to 100 bucks down here in Florida, right? And then straight to the Lambo dealership for a down payment because that it's a business expense. I need the Lambo to get around for my business, right? So $80 to open up the LLC, and then $19,920 to put a down payment on the Lambo. That's what it is. That's the new plan. That's the new plan, right? 20K forgivable loans, right? Forgivable loans. And don't forget, you have the 50K tax write-off, right? It says, I'm trying to level up in 2025. I'm tired of being a peasant.
I'm in a bind, Nate.
My guy Rod Brown in the building, aka Mr. Tech Daddy himself, says, I missed majority of the stream. I failed. You never ever fail me, Mr. Rod Brown.
I appreciate you.
You are my guy forever, right? Just saying. Let me see. Playing with my money is like playing with my emotions, Smoke. You talk about that's what I'm talking about.
Money. Hey.
Let's see. That's not a homie. It's not that. It's not your car. It's not that. It's not that. I'll tell you this, right? This is for family. This is for friends. And that's why they'll think what you are doing is not serious, right? Because it's you. They will respect some random person's ideas and business and stuff like that. But for family, it's like, you see it every morning. You see it every morning in your car. Biggest YouTuber, one of the biggest YouTubers, right? Especially in the city, in Detroit. And to his family, it's like, meh. Just saying. I'm just saying. All right. Says that's an associate to me. Is that really your homie? That's an associate to me. I mean, however you want to define it. But if it's like somebody, so if it's somebody that you knew for a long time, like I'm sorry, the people who are closest to you, a lot of times they don't value you that much. Just saying. This who was getting lectured to, what I missed, must have been using the mouse jiggler. They were lecturing you the other day. Brothers. The brothers are failing. You know, I'm just saying. I'm starting to think that Ralph has to deal with so much nonsense that his family takes out on. My family is great. My family is great. So I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just talking about in general. I'm just talking about from what I've seen. Because, and here's why my family is great. Because I don't really care about nothing. I don't care about nothing. I'm good. I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and everybody's going to do whatever they're going to do, right? So all I care about the people who surround these four walls in this house, right? Anything else, out of sight, out of mind, that's all I'm saying. Let's see. It says, especially his... Are you saying that I have to deal with a lot of BS with my students? That never. What? That wasn't the one I wanted. What? Can you make a clarifying statement, Alexis? Can you make a clarifying statement, please? What do you mean by that? What do you mean? And I don't have students. I'm not a teacher. I'm not a boot camp. I'm not a student. I don't have students. I have athletes. All right? I am a coach. I have athletes. Now, how do the athletes perform? I don't know. Some days they're amazing. Some days they're like Allen Iverson. Practice. We talking about practice? We're not even talking about the game. We talking about practice. Some days it's like Allen Iverson. Some days they practice like they play for Pat Riley. All right. It is what it is. It is what it is. It says, no, you are tough on your students, and I have to be on my athletes and my athletic barbarians. I'm tough on my athletes. All right, get it right, Alexis. Get it right. You're an athlete, not a student. You are a student other places, but here you're an athlete. You are expected to perform. All right, I set my expectations really, really high. All right, we have nine. Oh, I'll do one more question. Let's do one more question. So let's get to it. Let's get to our last question of the night. We had a really good time. We answered a lot of questions, a lot of insight. Let's go to one more before we wrap it up for tonight.
Another one.
Can we ever achieve 100% UI automation? That's a scary question. So, 100% UI test automation possible? Anyone here succeeded with just implementing pure UI end-to-end automation in their projects? I know everyone is saying it's flaky and hard to maintain, and it only has less emphasis in test automation pyramid, but UI automation is beginner friendly. So who cares? For someone trying to transition from manual testing. Just curious if any existing projects out there put their focus on UI automation. Background, our current team is new to automation and we're tasked to develop it using Player. Oh, shout out to you and your new team. Shout out to you and your new team. So first and foremost, I'm going to start the clock and I'm going to tell you this. You will never, ever get 100% of any type of test automation. I mean, I'm being a little bit dramatic, but it's really, really hard. And definitely through UI automation, is it possible to get a good number? It's possible. Is it wise to do so? Absolutely not. And as your car says, selectors will be broken all the time. There's ways to kind of mitigate against that, but he's right though. There will be a lot of flaky tests, as they said. Now, here's the thing. As a beginner, right? As a beginner, you know, sure, it's easy for a beginner to learn UI automation, right? Which I kind of disagree. I mean, it's easy, but doing it right, not so much. Oh, I got a call coming in. Let me finish. I'll finish this question, right? Let me finish this question and then I'll go to the call, right? So it's easy to learn the basics of automation, but to do it right, to actually put it in a CI/CD pipeline where it's actually going to give you value, or to run it where like, let's say, because here's the thing, when you start doing automation, right, you are going to put in your tests are going to be a mess. You're going to have like the same test over and over and over and over again. And then now something breaks, like your car says, right? Like your car says, and then now you have to go update a bunch of tests, the selectors in a bunch of tests, which is going to be a mess. The right way to learn, especially like any type of automation, any type of coding, but especially like UI automation, using the page object model, having like this, the selectors that are repeat. So you have a page for navigation, you have a class for navigation, you have a class for home page, login page, checkout page, whatever, right? Great. Now, what happens is it takes time to learn that. But guess what? The company doesn't care, because they need their software tested. So here's what I say to you, right? Why is it that, okay, when when we were in school, all the way back to elementary school, we had reading, we had math, we had art, we had music, we had physical education. Am I missing any other classes that we had? And then when I went into middle school, that's when we started switching classes, and we had I had English, I had like some type of math algebra type thing. I had Spanish. Oh, I forgot Spanish. Spanish in elementary school as well. Spanish in middle school, high school. PE, computer class. I didn't take music in high school because I didn't like music. And we would have homework as well, right? Never had homework for PE, but we would have homework as well, right? And we were expected to turn in the homework the next day. So why is it that when you're learning automation, you can't also learn how to do API testing? Why is it that you can't speak to your developers? Why can't you learn about the different, the test pyramid that you mentioned, about the pyramid of like, okay, well, if the developers are writing the unit test and now we have a API layer, why can I not learn how to actually write API tests? Oh, it's hard. I'm busy and stuff. I mean, we just talked about it. HVAC was working 80 hours a week. So you can't wake up 2 hours earlier in the morning to learn automation for the UI and then spend 2 hours in the evening to learn API testing. Do you want to level up or not? Do you want to level up or not? And that's the stuff that I'm like, do you really want it or not? Right? I don't care if you're trying to transition from manual testing to automation. If you have the opportunity at your job, right, then you have to learn how to do it the right way. Maybe you should sign up for coaching. Maybe you can become one of my athletes. But I don't expect, like, especially if this is already where we're going. And I'm gonna say this. API tests are much more important than the UI tests because the API tests are testing the business logic. You can have thousands of API tests running in seconds, minutes at the most, right? But UI tests, like your car said, flaky, gonna be breaking all the time. And they are slow. They're slow. They're necessary in some places, but they should not be the foundation. So I would say, you know what? I would say the UI test. Focus on the API test first. Learn the API test. If you have to choose one, learn the API test first. Build the API test logic, and maybe you can delegate. You say, all right, I'm gonna work on the API test. I want this other person on the team to work on the UI test, right? And have way more API tests that test all the different scenarios. And then now you have the UI test for the edge cases to make sure that the site loads, that you can navigate through the whatever it is that you're working on, right? If it's an e-commerce site, navigate through the checkout, adding a product to the cart, but it's not like every single situation that you have to test, right? That's how I see it. Is it possible to get 100%? It's not possible to get 100% of any type of automation test. Not even unit tests get 100%, right? But focusing on the UI for your automation test is that is so 2011. So 2011, when APIs weren't even that big of a thing. But now you focus. If there is a testing pyramid, right? If there's a testing pyramid, follow it. Follow the testing pyramid. Make sure there are unit tests. Get your API integration test. Then you get to your UI test, and then you get to your exploratory/manual test. All right, going to wrap that question up. Hopefully that gave you some valuable insight. Alrighty then. So You guys remember? You guys remember? So I'm gonna bring this up real quick. I'm gonna bring this up really, really quick. I asked earlier, right? If you're at a friend's house and you clog the toilet and there's no plunger and there is no toilet paper, what do you do? How do you get out of the situation? Yeah, if it, open to answers. I am open to answers. While I'm waiting for answers, I'm gonna check the chat.
Well, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up.
I'm gonna check the chat. So, let me see. So there was somebody calling. I guess they couldn't wait. I guess they couldn't wait for me to answer. But your car had said about that question says, no, you cannot reach 100% automation for the UI, especially. The selectors will be broken all the time. That's a fact. Tell that to the C-suites. I don't really talk to the C-suites. Changes in the UI breaks. Yep. It's sometimes like based on the selectors, like they might change the UI, but the selector itself doesn't change and you might be able to navigate. But yeah, for the most part, you're right. It could be a mess. Says, how could you do your edge cases? Yep, you're right. It's a mess. It's a mess. Robert Brown said, that's Mitch calling. Regardless, don't pick up. Probably Ferris. They standing outside ready to throw hats. Nah, they're not doing that. They are not doing. Let me go back to full screen. They're not doing that. You see, so Ryan Brown, are you seriously telling me that where is it? Are you really telling me that they're outside looking like this? What? I know that's not what you're telling me, Ryan Brown. Man. I got you, Rob. I got you, Rob. Oh man, you got me scared for a second. He definitely wouldn't ignore. I would never ignore a call from my bestest friend in the whole wide world. PE, physical education. Why am I getting strays when I'm quiet? Because they miss you, Ferris. They miss you. You know, like, and that's why Ferris always says, like, he comes here, he gets abused, he's gone for like 2 months, and then he comes back, and then it's more abuse, and then while he's gone there, I say, oh, how's Ferris? I miss Ferris. And then it's like, Ferris like, why do I have to come back? Because they're just going to abuse me. And then as soon as and they're like, oh, we don't abuse Ferris. And then he comes back, and then boom, abuse. I got you. So I had piano, home economics, accounting, boat engineering. What? Never heard of that one. Aquaponics, Chinese, and Spanish. Whoa, that's a lot. I thought you were calling in. I wasn't taking shots. Yep. Okay. Nah, I wasn't calling it. It says I'll spend those extra 4 hours at work paid out of 8 hours. I mean, if that works for you, Ferris, do you? But some people need to actually upskill, and some people can't upskill while they are on the job. I'm just saying. All right. How can we level up within work hours? I don't want to level up on my free time. Then you know what? I'm not even going to answer that. I'm not even going to justify. I'm not going to dignify that answer. You can, if you want to level up on your work hours, then work it out. But a lot of people, they don't have the capability. They don't have the time. And guess what? The job does not owe you anything to go and for you to go there to find another job, right? If you want to level up, then however you can do it. But look, he's not gonna like that. He's not gonna like that. Not on lunch break. Learn on lunch break. Nope, not doing it. Says, watch The Pursuit of Happiness. Perfect example. Had to do a lot while at work. I agree. That was a great movie too. Let's see. Not gonna, nobody to say thank you. Let me see what else we got. It says, your car says that right hand hook is a killer. It is. Oh my God, I gotta, tomorrow I'm gonna wake up with a black eye. I'm gonna wake up with a black eye tomorrow. You got me. Let me see. Says, yep, they've been training in karate, so they ready. Oh my goodness, I'm terrified. Took a karate boot camp. Oh my goodness. All right. Let me see. My high school was my high school was a how to fight one-on-one boot camp. What? Crazy. All right. Let me see. So, I guess the only answer that we had for that question. I thought I got this off. Where is that still there? Let me see. I guess Mitch was the only one who said that I don't get involved in these type of questions. So you guys never wondered about that? You guys never wondered about that? Like, what if you get trapped in a situation, you know? I don't know. I don't know what I would do. I have to think about it. Maybe I'll answer next time. Anyways, we're going to get out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate you all. My guy, Sean, Mitch, Yakar, Rod Brown, Victor Williams Jr., Ferris, Alexis, anybody else who's watching from the clouds. Really, really appreciate you. Had a grand old time tonight. Hopefully you enjoyed yourself as well. But we're going to get out of here. You guys know what it is. You see over here. Let me see. Oh, Darcel. I almost forgot Darcel. Shout out to Darcel as well. It says, I don't entertain nightmare. Nobody answering this question. Oh my goodness. So your car is answering Alexa's question about if you went to school in Texas. Says in Texas in Terrell, we was on the news a couple of times for fighting and shooting at the park. It happens. It happens to the best of us. All right. Anyways, you guys know my question for you at this point. My question for you is,
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
I had an amazing time. Had a great time. I had an amazing time. But yeah, so why say loud? Why, Alexis? Why? I'm telling you. But as we wrap up for the night, you guys know yesterday's price is not today's price. And today's price is certainly not tomorrow's price because
One more thing. Price of the brick going up.
the price of the brick is going up. But remember, never forget this. If the price of the brick does go up, you do have a $20,000 forgivable loan waiting for you. Right? Just remember that. You have that $20,000 forgivable loan just waiting for you to start your business. Right? Just saying. I'm out. Your car says your favorite shows. You're terrible. You're terrible. You are terrible, your car. I'm gonna get out of here. You guys have a great night. And take care. See you guys in the morning. On your way out, like the video, share the video. Subscribe to the channel. Check out the Patreon, techcoachrav.dev. But with that being said, we are... all right, almost forgot. And the marijuana as well. The marijuana, you got that going for you as well. But 20K and marijuana. Sounds good to me. All right. That being said, we're going to get out of here. You guys take care. Have a wonderful night. We are out.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again. Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
Do not come.
I'm a knucklehead at times.